But before that, let us introduce ourselves. My name is Brenisha from class 8B.
I'm Arcelia from class 8A.
And I'm Raisha from class 8B.
For today, as we are in the last week of the month of Shawwal, I think it's a good time to talk about our fasting and Eid al-Fitr, right?
Yes, I agree. But wait, before we start talking about fasting and Eid al-Fitr, shouldn't we hear our daily dose of our English expression?
Yeah, I just read a very good page on our daily English expression where we can learn vocabularies and conversations. Alright, please Raisha, lead the way.
Right, please open page 11. Talking about the future. Membicarakan peristiwa atau aktivitas yang akan terjadi di masa yang akan datang. Who will attend the festival tomorrow?
Who will attend the festival tomorrow?
Siapa yang akan hadir pada festival besok?
Siapa yang akan hadir pada festival besok? Me and two other friends.
Me and two other friends.
Saya dan dua teman.
Saya dan dua teman.
When will the competition start?
When will the competition start?
Kapan lomba akan dimulai?
Kapan lomba akan dimulai?
In minutes.
In minutes.
Dalam beberapa menit lagi.
Dalam beberapa menit lagi.
What will you do for the national exam?
What will you do for the national exam?
Apa yang akan kamu lakukan untuk menghadapi UN?
Apa yang akan kamu lakukan untuk menghadapi UN?
I will study hard.
I will study hard.
Saya akan giat belajar.
Saya akan giat belajar.
Where will you go for the next holiday?
Where will you go for the next holiday?
Kemana kamu akan pergi pada liburan yang akan datang?
Kemana kamu akan pergi pada liburan yang akan datang?
I will go abroad.
I will go abroad.
Saya mau keluar negeri.
Saya mau ke luar negeri.
Continue to page 12. Agreeing and disagreeing.
Agreeing and disagreeing.
Menyetujui dan tidak menyetujui.
Menyetujui dan tidak menyetujui.
I agree.
I agree.
Saya setuju.
Saya setuju.
That's right.
That's right.
Itu benar.
Itu benar.
You're right.
You're right.
Kamu benar.
Kamu benar.
So do I.
So do I.
Begitu juga saya.
Begitu juga saya.
Me too.
Me too.
Saya juga.
Saya juga.
I don't agree.
I don't agree.
Saya tidak setuju.
Saya tidak setuju.
I disagree.
I disagree.
Saya tidak setuju.
Saya tidak setuju.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Menurut saya tidak begitu.
Menurut saya tidak begitu. Alright, thank you Raisha for reading our daily English expression. That was very helpful and gave us some new vocabularies to use in our daily conversations.
Yes, especially because learning English through expressions makes it easier and more fun. Totally agree. And now let's go back to our main topic today, fasting and Eid al-Fitr.
Since we are in the last week of Shawwal, do you guys still remember the atmosphere of Eid?
Of course, my favorite part is gathering with my family, asking for forgiveness and eating lots of delicious food after 1 month of fasting. Same here. It is not only about new clothes and food, but also about strengthening our relationship with family, friends, and even teachers.
That's true. I think one of the most important lessons from Ramadan and Eid is learning self-control, patience, and gratitude.
Yeah, fasting teaches us how to control our emotions, be disciplined with the time, and understand how people who have less food might feel. And it reminds us to forgive others and start again with a clean heart.
By the way, have you both heard about fasting in Shawwal?
Yes, it is the Sunnah fasting for 6 days after Eid al-Fitr, right? Correct. It is recommended because it completes our good deeds after Ramadan.
Exactly. It also teaches us that worship and good habits should continue even after Ramadan ends.
I think that's a very important message for students too. Good habits like waking up early, being disciplined, speaking kindly, and managing our time should stay with us. True, Ramadan may be over, but the values should stay in our daily school life.
I really like that idea because sometimes after Ramadan ends, people slowly forget the good habits they built.
Yes, especially habits like waking up early, praying on time, and being more patient with others. I agree. During Ramadan, many of us become more disciplined without even realizing it.
Exactly. For example, we follow a clear schedule every day. Sahur, school, prayers, iftar, and tarawih.
That routine actually teaches us time management, which is also very useful for students.
Definitely. If we can manage our time well during Ramadan, we can also manage our study time, homework, and rest after Ramadan.
That's such a great point. Sometimes students think fasting is only about worship, but actually it's also help us build life skills.
Like responsibility, self-control, and consistency.
And even empathy too, because fasting helps us understand what it feels like to be hungry and appreciate what we have.
Which is why charity and sharing are also important values during Eid.
Yes, during Eid, many families give food, gifts, or donations to others.
It reminds us that happiness becomes bigger when we share it.
I love that message. Sharing joy is one of the best parts of Eid al-Fitr.
Another thing I learned from Ramadan is honesty.
Honesty? That's interesting. How?
Because when fasting, even if no one sees us, we still choose not to eat or drink. It teaches us to be truthful and sincere.
Wow, that's actually a very deep lesson.
And it really connects to students' life too, like being honest during exams and doing our own assignments.
Exactly. The values from Ramadan can help us become better people, both spiritually and academically.
I think that's what makes this topic so special for our school podcast.
Yes, because it's something for every student can relate to and practice in real life.
So, even though Eid has passed, the lessons from Ramadan and Shawwal can still guide us every day at school, at home, and with our friends. So, friends, what can we learn from today's episode?
Ramadan teaches discipline, fasting teaches patience, and Eid teaches forgiveness and gratitude.
And Shawwal fasting reminds us to stay consistent in doing good things.
Wait, before we really end today's episode, let's have a quick reflection corner.
Ooh, yes, I like this part. A little question for our listeners at school.
Here's the question. What good habit from Ramadan do you still keep until today?
Is it waking up early for sahur that made you more disciplined?
Or maybe controlling your words and being more careful with how you speak to your friends?
Maybe it's reading more Quran, helping your parents at home, or being more generous with others.
Those habits may seem simple, but if we keep doing them, they can shape our character little by little.
Exactly. Good character is built from small actions done consistently.
That's why Shawwal is a perfect time to continue the spirit of Ramadan, not only in worship but also in attitude.
For example, in school we can show the Ramadan spirit by coming on time, respecting teachers, and helping classmates who are struggling.
And also by speaking politely, avoiding gossip, and creating a positive classroom environment.
I love that. It shows that fasting is not about hunger and thirst, but also about improving ourselves.
Now let's make a bit more fun. How about a mini challenge for this week?
Nice idea! Our challenge for everyone listening is to do one kind thing every day this week.
It can be as simple as helping a friend with homework, sharing your stationery, or saying thank you more often.
At the end of the week, try to reflect on how that kindness can change your day.
Sometimes the smallest kindness can make someone's school day much better.
And who knows, your kinds might inspire others to do the same.
Before we close, let's each share one word that reminds us of Ramadan and Eid.
My word is gratitude, because Ramadan taught me to appreciate every blessings.
Mine is forgiveness, because it is the perfect moment to mend relationships.
And mine is consistency, because the real challenge is keeping up our good habits after Ramadan.
Those are beautiful words.
We hope our listeners can also think of their own word after today's episode.
Thank you once again for joining our weekly school podcast.
Keep learning, keep growing, and keep spreading kindness.
See you next week with another educational and exciting topic.
Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.